You going? Look, I was gonna say.
All right, everyone. Welcome to the Huddle. It's me, Coach Muddle. Nevada Nick here to recap a lot of big news, too, of what happened yesterday. A lot of playoff implications that happened. So we'll cover those. We'll get into the big news out of the what the F's football team. So we'll go with that, and so we'll see what else is going on right now. So
What's going on, Coach?
how you doing there, Nevada Nick?
Well, obviously the Eagles with 4 wins were just eliminated finally, but I don't know what to think, man. Just a tough year if you're an Eagles fan, and a lot of question marks. I mean, I think we don't feel as bad as we did, obviously, with seeing Hurts play. That gives you some kind of hope, possibly, that maybe some things can change, and maybe we have a quarterback. But still, a lot of issues, and I'm concerned. Doug again yesterday. Really, a lot of questions with him, Coach. So I don't know if you watched the game, but the Eagles were down 13, Coach, and plenty of time left. 4th and 15, he goes for it, and I'm just like, why don't you kick the field goal and make it 10? Then they're down there again, down 13, and obviously not as much time left. Hurts, knowing he needs a touchdown this time, forces an interception. So, bad play on Hurts' part. But still, if they kick the field goal there, you could kick the field goal there. It's a one-possession game. And then they ended up getting down there again. Now, look, Dallas won the game, but still, just Doug's coaching. There's a lot of questions. And what I worry about, Coach, is, and I think you'd agree with this, there's no doubt Carson Wentz and his regression is partly to blame on Doug. Agreed?
I agree. Yeah.
I mean, Carson has his blame, but I think Doug also is to blame too. If your quarterback regresses like Carson has, part of the blame's got to go to the coach. And okay, well, Hurts is young still. He only has a couple games under his legs here. Do you really want him to get? That's what concerns me. Should we go out and find a new coach that's going to groom Hurts, or do we keep Doug? And because I got a lot of questions with Doug. They come out yesterday, 15 runs, 5 passes. They're up 14-3. He abandons the run. Abandons the run. And then they just get – now, look, a lot of injuries on defense, but still, there's no excuse for them to not score a point in the second half against that terrible Dallas defense.
You're right.
And I mean, so that's my problem. What Brian said, Brian, I'm with you, definitely, Howie. And Doug, I think, needs to talk.
Did I just see that they hired the former GM for the Browns as a consultant or something?
He's been doing that. Office? The what's his name? Dorsey? You talking about?
Dorsey. That's it.
Yes, he's been working as a consultant. But there was rumors earlier that Dorsey and Bieniemy were going to be a package deal. I don't know if you heard about that, but yeah. So, but now look, I mean, I know there's a lot of injuries, but no matter what, the Eagles shouldn't be sitting here with 4 wins. They're a better team than that, and a lot of questions, a lot of games left out there. I could think of plenty of them, 3 or 4 games that they could have won that they lost, and I really think the Eagles better take a deep look at themselves, because you're in cap hell next year. But you need to start planning for the future. You're going to have a nice
fix
pick.
That offensive line too.
Yeah, they got a nice pick this year coming up, and there are even rumors they might take a receiver again. I'm thinking, what's Matt Millen running our team? We're going to take a receiver 3 years in a row. I mean, are you kidding me?
Right.
You can't get it right, and we got to watch Justin Jefferson and DK Metcalf lighten up. I mean, it's it's bad. And what's going on, Chris Lentz? What's up, Angela? Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. But what about your boys, the Giants, yesterday?
Man, I tell you what. Honestly, I think I don't know if I said it on the air yesterday or not. You know what? I just decided to get on the boat and do some fishing. I just had to step away, take my analyst hat off, take the eye patch off, and just relax and catch some fish.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't catch no fish. So I knew immediately when I didn't catch any fish that the Giants got smoked. And when the Giants only rushed the ball 5 times for 27 yards, that's a big deal. Yeah. I mean, that should tell you something right there. Right. Where is the run? Because Wayne Gallman can run. He's proved it. He's shown you he can run it.
Yeah. And Coach, what's amazing though is you're 5-10, and you actually have a decent shot at making the playoffs. You really do. All you need is
a win,
and Washington
lose. No, we're tied with one. Oh no, Washington still.
Washington needs to lose.
So they need to lose, and they very well can because speaking of which, Washington just cut their first round pick from a year ago.
Rightfully so.
Dwayne Haskins. Rightfully so. I agree 100%.
Yeah, he wouldn't speak to reporters yesterday, and this is also a week after the whole strip club thing and the COVID issue.
Hey, look, I know it's a strip club, but he did have to visit his girlfriend on her birthday. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Chris, I disagree. I think the Giants have a shot. It's wide open. I mean, look, the Redskins, how healthy is Alex Smith? Now, if Alex Smith was playing,
right.
Look, they're a better team with Alex Smith. You could see it. Haskins turns the ball over yesterday 3 times. I mean, Alex Smith isn't going to amaze you, but he's not going to hurt you either. And that's the difference between the two. Look, we'll see what happens. I think it's very possible the Giants make it. I think the Eagles, you got to look at this. The Eagles match up well with them because the Eagles defense, the Redskins offense isn't like anything on fire. So if the Eagles stay in the game and the defense keeps them in the game, all you're asking for is Hurts to make a couple plays. And right now, I'm going to take Jalen Hurts over Alex Smith. And look, Alex Smith is doing the job. I'm not trying to – but he's a game manager for them. And that's what he's done. He's played to that defense, run the football, and not made mistakes. And he's done a good job at that. Dwayne Haskins couldn't even do that.
Right. Absolutely. And look, I thought Dwayne Haskins was a bad, and I'm not a fan of guys going home early in their career.
Yeah.
And we've had several guys on the show here that we've talked about that were, able to go home at the end of their career was a lot easier than being young and, all those hanger-ons that just come out of the woodwork. Hey, Dwayne, we went to high school. How about some tickets and all that craziness that goes on?
There's a lot. I mean, I remember hearing Chris Herron, who did a great documentary. He played college basketball at UMass and then went to Fresno. He had to play for the Tark.
Yep.
He was in Denver, and everything was going fine playing for the Nuggets. They traded him back to the Celtics, and that's when his drug problem ramped up because he was at home. And I'm just saying it's an example. You get around people, hangers on, like you said, you get mixed into the wrong things, and look what happens. So I agree with you, and we'll see what happens. I wonder if Haskins gets another chance. I really do. He might get a shot as a backup, but not a fan. And how do you like him? What has he shown you that says I want to give this kid a shot?
Right. You're right. He hasn't proved that he could do anything.
Yeah, all he's been is a distraction. I mean, you're talking about year 2 of I think he was the 7th overall pick. Year 2.
15th.
Was it 15th?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And because the Giants thought the Redskins were going to take Daniel Jones. That's what their excuse was for taking Daniel Jones at 6.
Right.
where Daniel Jones would have been there in the second round. The guy had a second-round grade on him. I'm just saying. But
yeah, you're right. Okay, it was 15th. I don't know why I got that confused. But, yeah, no, and I like him coming out. And, look, obviously he says he's going to grow up, but I don't believe it. Like, you know, you lost your starting job. You get it back, you know, and just you were a distraction for your team. And then, you know, yesterday you lose. And, you know, be a man. Look, you're getting paid richly to do it. So go in front of the cameras. If you want to cliche them to death or give them one answers or whatever, do whatever you want. But, you know, a lot of these guys, that's my one problem with Cam. When he was winning and everything was good, Cam wants to be in front of the cameras and chatting it up. And then as soon as he lost, you know, he's a front runner. And that's how I kind of feel about, you know, Baker, me and Baker's issues. But and I will say, I'll say this for the Browns. The Browns got screwed yesterday in many ways. I mean, they lose to the Jets. If they're healthy, they don't lose that game yesterday.
Right.
But even that, coach,
come on, your running backs were healthy.
They should have still won. I agree.
You should have ran the crap out of that football.
Yeah, but coach, they were putting 9-10 in the box, coach. They weren't going to run. I mean, you didn't.
Which goes to a point where Baker Mayfield can't win you a football game.
No, I know. I don't disagree with that. And I'm not, you know me, I'm not a Mayfield guy.
Yeah, where's Mike Johnson tonight?
Their number one receiver was a practice squad receiver, coach. I mean, you're missing some talented guys at receiver.
But the tight ends were there. You have two decent tight ends. I
agree. They could have played better. I don't disagree with you. But the NFL still screwed them by, you know, them missing their whole receiver group basically. And you didn't let me get to my second point. Darnold fumbled yesterday. The Browns picked it up and scored it for a touchdown. And they reviewed it and let it stand. And it was 110% a fumble. So if I was a Browns fan, I'd be a little pissed off right now because there's a chance the Browns don't make the playoffs now. They're going to play the Steelers in what's going to be a tough game. I mean, you know, Steelers still have a really good defense, and I think Baker's going to struggle against that Steelers defense. I think you're looking at a low-scoring affair.
Hold on, they might not make it. Hold on, let's.
See who
you're the Huddle. Who's this?
Coach Mike.
Speak of the devil, what's up, buddy?
I'm going to become your official Cleveland correspondent. I'm going to settle the argument with you and Nick.
Okay.
So Nick's right. When there's stuffing 10 in the box and you've got nobody that can get 15 yards downfield and create separation because all you're running out is tight ends, you can't win that football game. Yeah. If they were the Ravens or the Steelers, that game would have got canceled 3 times and tried to get rescheduled.
Now, Mike, did you see the Darnold play?
Which one specifically? The Darnold play.
The Darnold where they called it a forward pass and he fumbled backwards and the Browns ran in for a touchdown.
Yeah, I agreed with the announcers. They could have went either way. Either way, that was not going to be enough evidence to turn.
Yeah, I thought it was an obvious fumble. I really did. I thought it was a fumble and should have been a touchdown. But, you know.
Yeah, I do think he squeezed it too tight and he was losing it, but I don't think that they had enough clear proof for that, unfortunately.
Okay.
But, you know, the Browns got screwed. They did get screwed. There's no way that game should have been played. But at the end of the day, hey, we're in control of our own destiny. You beat a Pittsburgh team who should be resting starters because they can't improve their position a whole lot, depending on what Buffalo does here. And we control our own destiny. What else can we ask for?
Yeah, no.
It's been a long time since Week 17 showed up, and Cleveland is still in the mix, in the hunt. Right. You know,
you win the game, shut them up, and we go take it to a team in the playoff.
So. Yeah, because Mike, were you in middle school last time the Browns were in the playoffs, dude?
I was, I think I was in the 86 through 89 would have been my heyday in high school.
Okay.
And then we got that one game against the Steelers where we had them beat, and they came back in the last 6 minutes and put 14 on us, and we lost. That was what, 2006?
That was Belichick. The last time you guys.
That was Butch Davis.
I thought Belichick was.
Yes,
Belichick was the last coach to get you to the playoffs.
No, Butch Davis with Kelly Holcomb.
Oh, okay.
Yep. They went 10-6, but didn't make it with Derek Anderson.
Right.
Okay.
That was 07 or something like that.
Right.
But I hope you guys get to the smack talk that's going on between Dabo and Ryan Day. That'll be real interesting. So.
Oh, we will.
We will. Good, and you're not going to like it, Mike. Just so you know, you're not going to like it.
I don't think I'm going to like the results, but I think they're giving them a little bit too much material when they're big favorites to be. I just don't think it's necessary.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
I'd agree with that, Mike. I would agree with that.
So.
Hey, you guys have an awesome show, man.
You too.
Thanks, Mike, man. We'll talk to you.
Appreciate
Thanks, man.
All right, there he is.
Care.
I can't believe he didn't show up yesterday. I thought Stiz gave me an over-under for 10:03 yesterday, 10:03 in the morning before Fuller came out talking about his Raiders pick. What's up, Joe? And look, I got to give him credit. Joe, don't go with how about them Cowboys because you said the Eagles were going to win big. But he did say Raiders. He did say Jets. He did say Chicago. He did say Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, little luck. But the other ones he all called. He said Chicago was going to rout the Jags. Give him his credit. I got to give him his due. He called all those games at the same time. Yeah, I don't get that either. The Eagles games they
moved it to 8:00.
Oh, they usually make it that the results are known. Wow, I'm surprised about that. But I guess they don't care because the results of the Giants-Cowboys game don't really matter. Washington knows they need to win to be in. So,
Right,
but
right.
What Joe's point is, and he is right, I guess you could say, because I guess if either of them wins, they're in if Washington loses. So Washington has to win anyway. So the winner of that game, if Washington loses, they're in. So, okay. Yeah, which is crazy.
But the Giant-Dallas game is the 4:25. It's the game of the week.
Right.
So it's going to be nationally televised. So.
And what's crazy, Coach, if the Giants win, okay, and then the Redskins lose, you're going to have 3 6-10 teams tied for first place, and the Giants win by tiebreaker, of course.
Right.
It's just amazing to think that, a team that's 5-10, he'll still has a shot at the division and kind of shows you, yeah, you're right, Joe. I remember they would end it the year before. I guess they're doing it this year. There was no Sunday night games the last couple of years. Right. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting. It seems like nobody wants to win a division. Washington's could have clinched the last couple of games, couldn't get a win. Giants, same thing.
The Giant game has been moved. It's 4:25.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's going to be interesting how all 4 teams are in play here. All 4 teams are in play because
Eagles are out.
Eagles are out. Right. Okay, my bad. I said all 4 teams. I forgot the Eagles were actually out. Yeah. They needed a win, and it didn't. But listen, I want to bring in. I'm giving somebody some time because they have a little bit of trash talking to be able to talk about. Let me bring them in. The man who hit his prop bet again, hit the prop bet again, by the way. Okay. So do I have that right? 23-6?
Right.
That's a correct stat, Coach.
23-6 and 2, not 1, but 2 double champion fantasy football leagues.
I'm going to put the Des Bryant X up, fellas. For his 2 touchdowns and my 2 championships. And see, this is what you do when you're champ. You do whatever the hell you want to. So I'm going to have a nice cold alcoholic beverage during this podcast and jump in.
And then you also, you receive some gifts too, right?
I did from a very special person today. Yeah.
Courtesy of the Coach Muddle show. Thank you very much. I just thought,
Stiz told me it looked like he was hot, like Coach stole it somewhere. and just so Joe is right. that Giants-Cowboy game is at 1. I just looked it up, Coach. It didn't get flexed. It's 1 o'clock.
CBS Sports put up the schedule for this week. It said 4:25.
Well, they're wrong, Coach. I just looked it up. It's 1 o'clock.
All right, fine.
But yeah, no, Stiz, how you feeling, man? Two fantasy. Look, you got the franchise hat on. Look at him.
Hey, man, Stevie franchise, man. This is it. You know, this is it, brother. I mean, I'm feeling euphoria. I mean, I guess is probably the best word I could think of. I mean, I went to bed last night, you know, not knowing the outcome. Woke up this morning. Here I was, 2-time champ.
Man,
Nice.
She get down AC as quick as possible, Stiz. You know, when you're hot, man. And that's kind of like with Fuller, I was saying, sometimes you're just on and you can do no wrong. And look, Joe had that kind of weekend. He did call a bunch of games. He liked the Bears. He liked the Jets. He said Raiders on Saturday night. And, you know, that's kind of how things are going for Stiz. You know, with the prop bets, like I said, he'll be collecting on those 2 other prop bets next Sunday once the season's over. I like I said, I hit my over-unders. A little disappointed. I took Mahomes to win MVP, and now after last night's games, you know, Mahomes was 3-1 last week, Stiz, but because of yesterday's games, now all of a sudden Aaron Rodgers is a 2-1 favorite.
Dude, Aaron Rodgers is just unbelievably looking. He's looking like a 24-year-old Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And look, and I felt bad because last night I was like, okay, they keep it close. Henry they could still run the ball. He can still, I mean, he still had 93, 95 yards somewhere in that area. But, you know, he still has to have a super huge game on Sunday in order to break 2,000.
Right. And look, he had 200 last game, Coach, against Texan, but it's most likely unlikely. But with the Packers, the one thing I can't stand, though, when you compare, they act like he doesn't have any players around him. Let me tell you this. I think you guys will agree. I think Stiz will agree. If I could take one player, okay, from the Chiefs and the Packers, I'm taking Devontae Adams. Tyreek Hill is great, but Adams is more consistent. I mean, Adams is a beast. A beast. I mean, every game in, game out, Tyreek Hill, yeah, he's explosive. You get the ball in his hands, he can make a lot of plays. But if you have me choose between Tyreek and Devontae Adams, I'm taking Devontae Adams. How about you, Stiz?
Well, I'll tell you where I'm going with this because he's the one that brought me my big league championship last night. He was my number one, my first round pick at 8 overall. And boy, did he come through all year, especially, Adams is a stud, Joe. That's no doubt. I'll tell you, we'll talk more, in the upcoming weeks about, first round, second round fantasy football picks. But he was one of the winners of this year's fantasy season for sure. Touchdown, Tommy. Okay,
great stat, Tommy.
The PPE are back.
But look at that company he's with. Chris Carter, Randy Moss, and Adams, and that's impressive.
And 2 of those guys have gold jackets.
Exactly, and Adams keeps up the pace he will too. Sorry, Stiz, go ahead, buddy.
No, absolutely. I'm just my thoughts on Devontae Adams is he's the man, dude. He is the man. Yeah. I fell asleep a little early last night. My phone was blowing up. I'm getting text messages from all my buddies. Adams touchdown, Adams another touchdown, Adams a third touchdown. I said, oh, boy, put this to sleep, man. I rolled back over, slobbered on my pillow, and that was it.
Yeah. Stiz went with the reverse psychology last night. He said, oh, Henry's going to have a huge game in the snow. Adams is screwed. Went with the reverse psychology.
How about, and I was playing against Henry, too, last night. So I was hoping my work league, we actually had Henry going, but we already won that league before the game started. So I was hoping Henry broke his leg before the game started. So, I'm rooting against him all the way.
Right. Well, obviously, I've never played wide receiver in my life, but
you haven't?
No, never, Stiz. Never been a wide.
I thought you played all other positions, man.
But the one thing people don't get with the snow, you're not going to be getting the 40-yard passes. But you know which way you're going when you're the wide receiver. So that is for those 10-yard, outs and stuff like that. And that's one thing Adams is great. He has great footwork, great route running, uses his body great. And look, like I said, so you know where you're going, and he knew where he was going. And him and Rodgers they're the type that can look at each other and they know what they're thinking. You know what I mean? It's just a great duo.
But also, it's a little bit different too. You're able to practice in the snow when you're up there.
Definitely.
You're able to. So
They played in more snow games, though.
Yes, but you also, you get a feel for the field because you're on it more often, more than obviously Tennessee, who's just rolling into town. So
right, and that's one thing. Joe says Green Bay's on a mission, and they look like it. I think Aaron Rodgers is on the FU tour. Say, all right, you want to draft a kid, Jordan Love? I'm going to.
Wasn't active, by the way, yesterday.
Yeah, if you look in Vegas, the Chiefs are the overwhelming favorites to win the Super Bowl. I think it's wide open. This is about as wide open as I've seen it. I could see, and this is the truth, I think there's 3 teams in the NFC that could win it. The Saints, the Seahawks. The Seahawks defense is starting to play well. Stiz was on them early. That defense is starting to put it together. Watch out for the Seahawks. So Saints, Seahawks, and Packers. And then in the AFC, I think you got the Chiefs. I think they got the Bills. And don't count out the Baltimore Ravens. I like how they're starting to play. I don't think Lamar can do it in a big game, but Ravens are quietly starting to play some good football.
Well, we'll see if they get past the first round this year.
Yeah, no, that's going to be the big thing, Stiz. Right. I mean, like I said, Tennessee, they got shown last night. I love the offense, but their defense is just weak. They got severe issues defensively.
Their offensive line can't pass protect when that running game's not going. It is, and when the defense has their ears pinned back and they're coming, they just can't do it.
Coach, they're a team that loves to run on first and second and get into that third and manageable. And then once they start forcing that run on you, you do the early the first round passes and all, and they think you're running. So as you know, that's when play action works. And look, Joe, Rodgers is the overwhelming favorite for MVP now. He really is. And trust me, I know because I bet Mahomes last week. In 1 week, Mahomes was 3-1 last week. 330, you had to bet to win 100 back. And now Mahomes is a 170 dog. So there's been a huge swing in 1 week. I don't know why. I mean, don't get me wrong, Rodgers played a great game, but I think it was a little bit because Mahomes has been struggling lately.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Falcons missed a field goal to tie it at the end of that game. It goes into overtime. Anything could have happened.
Right. And Coach, that kicker is money. That young man, he's been money all year, and I don't know if he choked. I don't know if the pressure got to him. I don't know why. I don't know why it would, but, man, that was an easy field goal, and, man, he just shanked it right. I couldn't believe it.
What's up, Coach Dean? You coming in from Texas?
Yeah, he's in Texas now. And one thing, too, a lot of people, it's been mentioned before, but the Chiefs have won 7 straight games by 6 or less. And look, ultimately they're winning games, but that's not a good sign because eventually that's going to turn on you. And I got a feeling it might happen in the playoffs. Look, they are really talented, the Chiefs. They find ways to win. They're never out of the game, but I just got a feeling they're not going to win the Super Bowl this year.
I mean, you may be right. You may be right. Look at Atlanta's defense, man. I tell you what, Atlanta's defense surprised me. Atlanta's defense should have won that game. It's just their offense couldn't put anything together.
Yeah.
And, you give Mahomes the ball with that much time left, forget about it, man.
Right.
It's game over every time. Just too much time.
Absolutely. Yeah, Jared, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. Merry Christmas, Jared.
Merry Christmas, Jared.
Yeah, Happy New Year, buddy.
Happy New Year. So we haven't, guys, discussed what our plan is. We're going to do a New Year's Eve show or not. I don't know what the game plan is. We'll have to ask the boss, Nevada Nick, since he's running the show. I mean,
right.
At least he admits it now. Embrace it, Coach. Just embrace it, man. I give you credit for acknowledging it.
That you're the man now. Whatever. So we'll see. And by the way, we should be at Phil and Jim's on Sunday having cheesesteaks for the show. That's what should be happening.
They told us whenever we wanted to go, we're more than welcome to do it.
All right, well, let's do it Sunday.
I don't know if we can do it that quick, Coach, but
all right, what's up, man?
well, look, it's 25% capacity, and me alone will get bumped you over 25%.
Listen, everybody be outside like little kids, with their nose running up against the glass, trying to look in and get some looks, man.
Nick will be inside eating a nice cheesesteak. Me and Coach will be on the avenue, freezing cold, eating our cheesesteak. You know what I mean? Peering in the window.
So, Jason Dean, buddy, I'd like to know what you thought about that debacle on Saturday. Man, what a joke. And look, the Raiders, I don't know. I mean, look, I know Raiders fans are going out, but to me, man, John Gruden's seat should be as hot as can be.
Yeah. Because
he is, look, that team without a miracle against the Jets is 0-6 without that play. They'd be 0-6 in their last 6 games. That's a disgrace. And it's not like they've had this impossible schedule. They played the Jets. They played the Falcons. Yes, I know the Falcons are playing better, but still, they played the Chargers. They've had a lot of winnable games in there. It's just this team's regressing. And I think there's a lot of questions in the Raiders, and I think Aguilar might leave after this year. He's had a nice year, but he's going to get a pay bump. When you get almost 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns like he did, somebody's going to pay him. And you know how it is in free agency. You tend to overpay. So we'll see if the Raiders can get him.
And also, look, John Gruden, 3 years in a row, he started 6-3.
Yeah.
And
not the first year.
Last 2 years, my bad. Right. Last 2 years, anywhere else, he would have been fired.
Yeah.
He would have been fired anywhere else, man. Yeah. But, I mean, it's that 10-year contract that's holding him back.
Coach, the bigger thing to me is since he's won the Super Bowl, so we're talking about a prolonged period of time. You're not talking about 1 season or 2 seasons. He's 18 games under 500.
Right.
I mean, that's bad. That's not you're not even average. You're below average.
Right.
And I think this needs to be looked at. I mean, and look, I was about it. I thought they were headed in the right direction. But to me, there's a lot of question marks coming into this year. And I don't know. Look, I really feel for Raiders fans. And Angela, she said 7-9, 8-8. And there you are. And look, you guys were 6-3, though. And it's just amazing to me that the Raiders are at where they're at. I mean, this is a team that beat the Saints, beat the Chiefs, 2 of the top 3 or 4 teams in the league. And yet they can't beat they struggle with the Jets. They get smoked by the Falcons. They lose to the Chargers, the Chargers just seem to find ways to lose. But, they almost blew it yesterday and cost Stiz a parlay. But luckily, they found a way.
Well, hey, Angela, I'll reach out to you when I get back from my secret location to another location.
And real quick, Stiz, before I throw it to Stiz, we were talking about the Chargers. This is the other thing you got to look at with the Raiders. You got 10 years of Herbert and Mahomes in front of you. Right. So you better fix things quick and get that defense playing, or you're going to be 0-4 to start every year because you're playing the Chiefs and the
and I know some people question this, but next year Denver's defense is going to be a lot better because they're going to get a certain pass rusher back.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Drew Lock, he looks pretty good, and they put a couple more weapons around him. Don't count out Denver.
I don't like Drew Lock. I disagree with that.
All right.
But I think the Chargers are a team to watch out for because that offense is good. You get Derwin James back, bring in a couple defensive guys. I think the Chargers can be really dangerous next year.
Yeah, they got to get their defense tuned up. That's for sure. Get these injuries tuned up, and they'll be a good team next year. I think so. They do. Hey, Nick, how many games did they let? Did they have 15-point leads and they lost?
Yeah.
How many this year?
Here's what I want to know though. Is Joe Fuller trying to get your job, Nick? Is that what it is?
What?
Because all he's doing is putting up who to bet, all these bets.
If you would listen, Coach.
Is he trying to interview for your job? Is that what it is,
Coach? He was saying he called me and gave me a bunch of picks, and he was right on it. That's all he was saying. Nobody's coming for Nevada Nick's job. Maybe Stiz. But the sustained success I put over the last 2 years is there, man.
Those are big shoes to fill, fellas.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
literally big shoes to fill. Hey, man, I want to give props to my girl Angela. 2-2 on the bet so far. We're going to turn her into a degenerate gambler.
Yeah, we are. She went 2-0. Her first little taste.
I mean, 2-0. I said 2-2. 2-0. I meant.
Yeah, 2-0. She was 2-4-2. That's what I think you meant.
First,
yeah, 2-4-2. Right.
First two bets she ever made in her lifetime, and she's 2-0. She's going to be degenerate. She's going to be betting every week.
When I get her out to Vegas, man, I'm going to have her at the craps table. We'll be playing going to play a little blackjack, putting games in. Trust me, man.
Forget about
it, Coach.
There you go. There you go. Now, listen, I want to get to the other big topic of the day is Dabo and his comments. And I personally, I agree with Dabo. I agree with him 100%.
Right.
Okay? Because I'm sorry, Ohio State does not belong in the top 10. They didn't play enough games, and you're penalizing teams that played extra games, and they're getting penalized. I that's unfair.
Right. And look, people are leaving out, Coach. He started with, there's no question Ohio State is good enough to beat us, to beat any of the 4 playoff teams and be a national championship.
Right.
That's not his question. But he said he didn't like that they didn't play all the games. And no, I don't have a problem with it either. I'm kind of surprised by it because we all know Ryan Day's going to be hanging it up in the locker room, and it's going to be locker room material. But honestly, I think Dabo believes in his team so much, he don't care. It's like the Packers with Lombardi, Coach. They'd say, all right, we're running the Packers sweep. Stop it. And that's where Clemson and Alabama are right now, Coach. Like we've been saying it all year. Stiz knows too. Is Clemson and Alabama are here, and the rest of college football is here, and they know it. And I mean, look, it's proven. I mean, like I said, they win again this year. It's 4 of the last 6 years. That's been the national championship game.
Well, I'll answer this, Mike. I think Texas A&M belongs there over Ohio State.
No, but he's saying who would be favored. Mike's right. I agree, Mike. That they when you look at it, if you take it out team wise, no, nobody would be. And they'd be favored over Notre Dame, who's 4, and they'd be favored over Texas A&M. I don't disagree with you, Mike. But still, the Big Ten put them in a predicament where they only played 6 games. They waited.
Right. But the league did that. They should have to face the consequences of the league. It's not Ohio State's fault. They are good enough to be there, but they didn't play enough games to deserve to be there. End of story. Not their fault. The Big Ten needed to, put their big boy pants on instead of wearing their granny panties.
Yo, Fuller, stop pissing off people commenting in the thing. Joe likes to poke the bear. I care about the NBA, Joe. And I care about the Sixers, and Fuller likes the Sixers too. So don't listen to him. He's just stirring the pot like he likes to. Look, Daryl Morey, he didn't comment about Harden coming to the Sixers. I guess it was a year anniversary that Harden did some kind of record, and he says it was an automatic retweet or something, but that's considered tampering. So he got fined, and Houston was unhappy about it. Look, James Harden isn't coming to Philadelphia. Maybe I'm dead wrong, but I don't think it's happening. I think that they like what they have, and they know that maybe this year they might not win the championship, but they're going to tweak it from here. You got 2 guys that are 25, 26 and under that are franchise-type players, and Morey's going to work on it from here. Oh, yeah, tell him, Kevin. And Kevin, congratulations. Kevin's son made All-State today for Pennsylvania. So Congratulations to him.
Congratulations. For what? All-State what? Tiddlywinks? What?
Football.
Oh, football. All right. Congratulations.
What did you say?
Awesome.
Don't give me an idiot.
All-star in cornhole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what's up with that?
Yeah. And Joe, I agree with you on Harden. I think he's a cancer too.
I agree too.
I know. I'm just waiting. I'm sorry. I'm waiting for the Nets to implode.
Nets look good. Yeah.
Well, for now, they look good for now, but soon they're going to implode. I think.
Speaking of the Nets, Dinwiddie looks like he's out for the season. Torn ACL.
Yeah.
Partial.
That's a huge loss, fellas. A huge.
No,
loss.
it is. Especially for someone that can score some points off the bench. I don't know if he was starting or not, Stiz, but one thing I want to talk about that bothers me is once again, Kawhi's on this load management. The Clippers were down 50 points at half, and the Sixers as well yesterday. I guess Embiid has a sore back. Is that what it was? Do you know what it was, Stiz? Why Embiid didn't play yesterday?
I think that's the reason why, yeah. But you see, without him,
Yeah. I mean, he's the circular point of that team. And, it's just that's the thing that concerns me is Embiid's longevity. I do get concerned about that. And, obviously when he doesn't play, you fall off a cliff. But all these games are important. We're in a 72-game year, not an 82-game year. And, I think they had that laissez-faire attitude last year, and it cost them. And let's not forget, we were, 20 games under 500 on the road last year? So, yeah, I think they thought, Embiid won't play, but we're playing the Cavs. Maybe we can still sneak a win out, and they got their asses handed to them.
And how about Coach's Knicks? The Sixers screwed them up for over 20 points, right? and they come right back, and they beat Milwaukee handily.
Yeah.
I mean, as an 11-point underdog. I just, it's crazy, man.
The Knicks are going to be sneaky good this year. I'm telling you, everybody keeps
sneaky good.
They're going to be sneaky good.
Coach, what did you call 24 wins, 25 wins? Is that what you
said? Yeah, man. So I forgot it's shortened season. So even if they do plus 20 wins is good year in my book for them.
Okay.
Yeah. 20 wins. Drink some more of that eggnog, Coach. Come on.
I was just going to say that, Nevada.
It's funny you guys say that because I just made some. I got the blender out making some eggnog milkshakes, man.
There you go.
McDonald's stopped doing it, and it used to be one of my treats, man. I can't find it, so I'm making my own, man.
Yeah,
but now put a little Southern Comfort in there.
Yeah. And Joe put up about the third game in 4 nights, and that is one of the reasons maybe he didn't play because they do play Rafters tomorrow night, I think it is. Okay. But and there is going to be more of that this year because obviously they didn't start till December instead of like late October, so they're condensing more. But they're going to travel less. They're going to be playing. They haven't started it yet, but there's going to be times where they'll play 2 games back to back against the same teams, almost like baseball does, where they're like little series.
Almost mini series, right? Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So but
like I said, are you saying the Knicks are only going to get 13 wins? Maybe
that's what he's saying.
Look, go back, grab your crack pipe, and go back on the corner and have a seat, buddy.
All Coach, right? I'm going to say this. I would venture more that maybe you should grab your crack pipe and go back in the corner if you think you're going to win 25 games. I would lean towards more Brian's 13.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see. Coach has been kind of on a streak lately, so Yeah.
We'll see. Joe, that is something that people bet a lot. They do. That especially when it's on the road, that 4th game in 3 nights, your 3rd game in 4 nights, you're right. A lot of teams do struggle. I mean, you're tired. It's kind of like in football in a short week. And I think that's a little bit what happened to the Dolphins, although they ended up winning. Raiders had the 10 days off. Dolphins were on 6 days, obviously, because they were playing Saturday. And trust me, 4 days in football is a lot. It doesn't, but it is. It's a lot when you have 10 days off compared to 6.
Absolutely.
Now, Stiz, you gonna look up some prop bets for tonight? You got anything?
Anything? Oh yeah, hold on a second.
Look, you got the smirk. There it was.
Hey, it's Nevada Nick. Get ready to make some money. Nick's picks coming up in the huddle with Coach Muddle. Cha-ching! Dollar bill.
You're gonna need something for Stiz. He's gonna have to do a thing.
I know. I'm gonna have to get. Gonna have to get him in the studio and have to lay some tracks down, man.
Yeah, it's the truth.
I'm down for it.
Did you look at anything, Stiz? Sorry, go ahead, buddy.
Of course I did. I'm a degenerate. I got to
good.
Especially if I want to make a cameo appearance, I'm going to put my 23-6 record on the line tonight.
That's right.
And Buffalo against New England. You got to go with somebody on Buffalo, right? Because New England is just a minefield. I mean, who can you take on New England for a prop bet? You can't. So I got to go with the main target here in Stephon Diggs. I'm going to go over 86.5 receiving yards tonight for Stephon Diggs. Yep. I think he has a monster game. I mean, Buffalo, still playing ball. They're going to play. If they win this week, they'll probably sit some guys next week, which is the thing we're going to have to watch out, fellas, for next week, because there's a lot of guys that may not be playing next week with different teams if they have stuff locked up. So I'll have to look into that. But, yeah, I'm going to go Stephon Diggs over 86.5 receiving yards tonight.
Yeah.
I like that. You hear reports coming out of Buffalo. They haven't beaten New England. They haven't swept the series since '99 was the last time they swept the series.
Right.
So that, or even last time they won in New England, I believe. So, I mean, geez, weren't you still in high school, Nevada, Nick, when that happened? I mean,
Yeah, I was. That was my I
was. What are you, a freshman? What are you, a freshman?
No, I graduated in 2000. So
he was still shitting in his diapers, Coach.
No, but what were we saying? The Bills. God, I lost my train of thought. You're killing me, Coach.
But not beating New England.
Yeah, no, I know we were talking about that, but there was something else I had on my and I lost it, man. But yeah, that's what it was. Washington. Curious to see about what happens with Alex Smith, because it's not a guarantee he's going to play next Sunday.
No,
it's not. And
he said they're going with I forgot the guy's name.
Heineke.
Yeah, Heineke. Yeah,
he's starting.
Yes. If Alex Smith isn't good to go, yes.
Well, okay.
He's named the starter so far.
Which coach is hoping Heineke's the guy, and not because look, they're obviously better with Alex Smith. I don't think any of us would disagree with that. But one line that was interesting to me, very interesting, was the Bears are getting 5.5 against the Packers. Now this game's meaningless for the Packers. Packers have home field advantage throughout, tied up because they're one game ahead of the Saints, but they beat them head to head. So that's tied up. Bears need to win to be in, obviously. They're fighting with the Cardinals and Rams. And how crazy is it? The Rams were 9-4 and now may miss the playoffs because they play the Cardinals Sunday. If they lose and Bears win, Rams are going home back-to-back years after having a Super Bowl run. And I think there are a lot of questions about Goff going around. And Goff broke his thumb, too. So he may be out on Sunday.
Yeah, he said it himself. He said it himself. They said he dislocated it, but it might be broken. Also, if the Packers lose and Seattle, if it becomes a 3-way tie, Seattle gets home field.
Oh, so I think, are you sure?
Yeah. If it's a 3-way tie, it's Seattle wins it because they have some kind of tiebreaker. But if it's just Seattle and Green Bay wins it. But all three have to have the same record for Seattle to get home field.
Okay. I didn't know that. I thought they said Packers had
They showed it up last night on NBC Sports. So
okay. Well, CBS Sports did you wrong. Maybe NBC Sports did too. You never know with the coach. Coach still reeling from not having the first two Hawaiians start against each other in the NFL.
Right.
Coach is still reeling from that.
That's right. I bet heavy on that too.
That's crazy.
What did Coach cut you off with? Sorry.
No. We were talking about Jared Goff. You may not see either quarterback playing in that game. Kyler Murray got banged up last week too, and he's not necessarily going to be starting next week. We're going to see what happens. Jared Goff got the broken thumb. Kyler Murray may be out, so I don't know.
Okay. Now I just bet the Bears. I bet the Bears and didn't know. I thought the Packers had home field clinch. Coach is right. Shit. But I mean, look, maybe something will happen. But yeah, it's very possible the Saints and Seahawks win, so the Packers do have something to play for. Oh man, well I got the Bears at 15.5, so I took them in a 10-point tease. So I'm not. Let's hope the Bears have been playing better though. They really have.
Oh yeah. Well, they've been playing junk teams too the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah,
that's why David Montgomery's been having a banner, 4 or 5 weeks so far. I'll tell you what, man. Washington with Heineke starting, possibly. Giants get a home game this week. I tell you, man, it's really set up, Coach, for your Giants.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joe. I mean, I don't know. They played great against the Eagles. I didn't see that coming. That's for sure. Man, I really like the Birds this week.
Yeah, I agree. I think look. The Birds' defense was banged up, and look, give credit to the Dallas's offense. It's Dalton's starting to really play well with those guys. They look good, but come on, man. McLeod was out. LeBlanc was out for the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles gave up 3 plays of 50 yards or more. When you're giving plays like that up, you're going to give up a ton of points. But we'll see what happens. It's going to be very interesting in what happens on Sunday in regards to the NFC East. And depending on what team gets in, I think basically if it plays out like it is, I think they're going to end up playing Seattle. So I don't see any of those teams beating Seattle.
How about us talking yesterday about D-Jax? How many plays is he going to be active, or what quarter is he going to go out? He gets a bomb 81-yard touchdown pass, and then he goes MIA. He played 20 snaps. You didn't see another catch out of him.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
Yeah, Stiz, they asked Peterson about that, and he said that he started getting sore again where his injury was. I think Deshaun wanted to show he could still catch it deep, hoping to get another year contract from somebody.
Yeah, I know.
And they said, all right, Deshaun, go ahead. And he did it. But, yeah, I don't know. Once again, the Eagles, you'll never understand them, and that's what drives me nuts about Doug. Like, you think, okay, we ran the ball 15 times, passed it 5, we're up 14-3. Maybe let's keep with the same formula. They don't. I mean, yeah, we'll see what happens.
You know what drives me nuts, too? Being a somewhat Eagles fan, I guess. D-Jax, every time he catches that deep ball touchdown and he goes and flirts around and starts doing his little casual in the end zone, takes 20 seconds to get in the end zone, I'm dying for one of them defenders to just knock the ball out of his hands or him to fumble the ball on the 1-yard line.
Yep, which he's done before.
Yeah, I was going to say he did that before.
I mean, there's just no reason for it. That's showboating. You know what I mean?
Now, I agree, especially Stiz, when he hasn't been able to be on the field for 2 years. And if you remember, he did, and that was at Dallas, where he thought he scored and dropped the ball.
Right.
And then also on that punt return against the Giants, he runs down the thing, and it's just like, just get in the end zone, man. Like, yeah, Deshaun, just one of those guys that drives me nuts.
I think that particular game, he was trying to take, a little bit more time off the clock, which I get. But, man, he's flirting with fire there, brother.
Fuller,
hey,
stop.
Joe, I'm hearing you're an idiot. That's the word coming out of the show. Is you're an idiot. How's that?
Shit, Nevada.
Hey, man, Joe, I'd rather have the red rifle right now than Dak. Red rifle
is
pretty good. Yeah.
That's one thing.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm curious, though, is what happens with that situation with the Cowboys? I mean, I guess they got to keep Dak, you would think, right? Or
why? He's on a 1-year deal. They can just let him walk.
Yeah.
You can let him walk. I mean,
you're not going to let him walk too much value. I mean, Dak still, if you had him for a 1-year deal, whatever, he could command trade value. Dak's still I'd put him top 12 quarterback, something like that. I think, he's not horrible.
No, but I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to sign him and hope you could trade him? I don't think so. I mean,
it would be franchise tag.
But it's second year of the franchise tag. It's like $40 million.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're in kind of cap hell yourself. I mean, why not just cut bait? Cut bait. You made a bad decision and move on. Go draft a quarterback. There's going to be 4 or 5 of them, and you're going to be up there.
Well, that's where Dallas has really hurt themselves by winning the last 3 weeks, because if they end up losing and not making the playoffs, they just improved their draft position so much. Improved it, made it worse, obviously.
Right.
And, they could have had a chance that, not Lawrence, but hey, maybe Fields drops. I don't know.
I don't like Fields, but
the BYU kid's good. I like the kid from BYU.
Kid, but Trask from Florida, I could see that kid going high, mid to late first round.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid from Notre Dame, Book, is a second rounder. You get good value out of him.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So
he likes the kid. He likes Mon from Texas A&M, Joe Fuller. Yeah, I agree. I'm not a Fields guy. I'm not. But supposedly, going into this year, they said Lawrence and Fields were pretty close. No. I mean, obviously that's changed now. Let's not kid each other. But.
Let's not kid each other. Fields is going to be a bust. He's going to be Dwayne Haskins 2.0.
Okay.
Man, funny. They come from the same school, but
yeah,
they're going to have the same result.
there you go. Thanks, Dennis.
Anyway, so, listen, you going to have a pick for tonight's game or what there, Nevada?
Yeah, I'm going to go. Look, I don't like laying 7.5 on the road in New England. Just not a fan of it, obviously. But I'm going to say do this. You take right now it's been between 7 and 7.5. I'm going to go with Bills -1, okay? And then take it and tease it down to 41, over 41. So Bills -1 with over 41 in the tease I'm going to go with. I think Patriots, even though their offense stinks, will score some points. But I think Bills are going to have a good game. Bills' offense has been rolling, man. Diggs, Beasley, just Josh Allen, they're on a roll again, and they want to keep this roll going on to the playoffs.
Hey, Mike, we do like stuff from Ohio. The Football Hall of Fame is there. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is there.
I like Browns fans. I do. I do. I do like Browns fans. I don't like Baker Mayfield. I want to see the Browns make the playoffs, I think, but let's not kid each other. Baker's a front runner. And I do give Baker credit yesterday. He came out and said, I failed this team, and he did with those turnovers yesterday. I mean, that loss, although I think they got screwed with the receivers, Baker made a lot of mistakes yesterday. 2 fumbles. I think he had an interception. He did not play well. And look, you could take, that's a huge game against a horrible team that you could take your team to the playoffs. And Baker did fail his team. And I give him credit for getting up in front of the media and saying it. But I don't know. I'm just tired of his antics. He's a front runner. I'm not a fan of him. I don't think that the Browns will ever win anything significant with Baker Mayfield as their quarterback.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. But I do like the team, but like I said, I'm just not a Baker Mayfield guy, just kind of like OBJ. They've been better without him. I said they would be better without OBJ. Somebody proved me wrong that they haven't been better without OBJ. Because I think Baker, it's like having that somebody you admire. You know what I mean? And you want to be friends with him. And I think he was always worried about keeping OBJ happy, and now he's worried about who's going to get me the next first down.
All right. Cool deal.
Stiz, you like anything tonight? I know you can get the prop bet with the game, I'm saying.
I mean, I got to go Buffalo. I'm kind of with you. I don't like laying 7.5. But now if I had to, I mean, New England's junk. Buffalo's still playing their hearts out. So I got to go Buffalo. I'll take Buffalo -7 or 7.5.
Yeah, it's at 7 now, so you can even buy the hook, which I would say if you're going to bet, buy that hook because it'll beat you. Take the 6.5. Maybe they just win by a touchdown. Fuller really going out on a limb, taking the Bills plus 107 tonight.
Yeah, although I like Joe's odds.
Yeah, I hope the Patriots win 108-0.
I do like that bucket of chicken, Bri. Chicken eating fool.
Yeah.
Guess what? Yeah. With this championship money, I'm going to buy me a lot of buckets of chicken.
Yeah. Now, Coach, I guess we'll put out what we're going to do this week on social media. You can put
we'll put it out. We'll put it out. I personally would love to do a show because it is early enough. I mean, I'm not one of those guys that's got to be the first guy at the party, but I know Nevada Nick has to be the first guy.
Oh, I'm never the first guy at the party. I make an entrance. I come late. I'm a jet setter. You know what I mean? I'm whining and dining, brother. But I'm a high roll. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of offers out there. Nevada Nick needs to figure out what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? And Stiz is the champ, so he's got to figure it out too. So I know Stiz won't be on Wednesday or Thursday, but Stiz is come on, he's not just a one-time, he's a 2-time fantasy champion, back-to-back, dual, you know what I mean? What can you say?
And listen, I want to say, guys, I appreciate you giving me the time, to have a champ on your show tonight. Yeah. I know it's an odd night for me.
Look, we always have room for the champ.
Appreciate it. Much appreciation. Champs is here.
And Sammy Kushner just said, "I knows where he goes. He knows where he's getting that chicken because literally there's been one time I was at Sam's store. He owns Sam and Sam Meats, a real good place. And literally I got the chicken. I'm standing there in line, and there I am eating the chicken right in line, man. Great fried chicken there, man. The best.
All right.
Coach is mad I gave out a plug for free. That's what he
Yeah,
he was all mad when I talked about Woody's crab cakes.
Yeah, it's Stiz couldn't turn the label of the bottle around, man. So we got to give Plug some Rolling Rock too. I mean, geez.
That's right.
Unbelievable. So, all right, everyone. Good night. Make sure you go over to YouTube, like it, subscribe, ring the bell, and we appreciate it.
Coach,
We'll let everybody know.
Sorry, why don't you let everybody know where you can get the glasses you're wearing?